What is going on, guys? DBG, and today we're going to be talking about the whole Spotlight Sim situation, whether or not they are good or whether they are bad in my team. So I'm currently watching a lot of guys stream, and I think this is objectively, this is a good thing, by the way. I think this is a good thing, by the way. I'm watching Shake, who has spent the last 90 minutes on the same challenge that he can't beat. The OG Anunoby, don't turn the ball over twice. He has spent 90 minutes on this one challenge. Can't beat it. I've seen Ty lose games. I'm personally trying to go out, I'm trying to go out basically no money spent. I'm just trying to see, what's the least amount of MT I can spend in doing this. I'm trying to challenge myself at the same time. So basically, the games that I just won a game just there. The last game that I won was this challenge right here. I got it first try. But, it was still tough. I think it was the Spurs challenge. And I got the Spurs 4-1. And the team I ran was gold JJ Barea, gold JaVale McGee, and gold Dwight Powell. Because if you guys don't know, the Mavs, there aren't that many great Mavs players for the way that I like to play. But one thing that I'm noticing on Twitter is that there's two extremes. There is the extremes that are these are impossible. These are way too difficult. And there's the, these are easy. And again, this is only easy for one type of person. People who are both really good 2K players and have God squads. And have a full collection. Not necessarily God squads, but have a full collection of players. You've got 5-6 players on each team that can all hoop. From each team that can hoop. That is the only people that this is even easy for. You have to be really good at the game, and you have to have the correct cards. As someone who, I haven't lost any of these 5-game challenges just running with literal, freaking Wesley Person. I've won every one of these challenges so easily. So, if with competent players, I've won every one of these challenges easily. It's a real struggle with bad cards. This is a real struggle with bad cards. An incredibly difficult thing to do with bad cards. And, I'm seeing, I'm seeing on Twitter, again, a lot of people that are kind of I wouldn't necessarily say, they're as casual players. So there's a Twitch streamer called Mills. Mills Twitch. He's a Twitch streamer called Mills. But he tweeted out this, and it is perfect. He just goes... He tweeted out earlier today, said this, which I stand by so much, because this guy is true casual. This guy plays the game every now and again and comes back in situations like this. He says, I personally really like this, but honest feedback for 98% of my team players, they're not going to be able to finish even one set of these challenges. And I agree. I get it. Maybe you guys watching this video aren't in that section. But I'm watching Shake, a guy who's played this, put 10,000 hours at least into my team game mode, who are playing. For anyone here, it says here, the difficulty isn't high. So this is someone who clearly doesn't play 2K and saying they're only set to Superstar. Nobody knows that literally All-Star this year is Pro this year is harder than Hall of Fame in 2K21. Actually, no, that's an exaggeration because Pro and All-Star is such a big gap. All-Star this year is twice as hard as Hall of Fame in 2K21. Hall of Fame in 2K20 was a cakewalk compared to All-Star this year. All-Star this year is harder than every version of Hall of Fame prior to last year's Hall of Fame. And last year's Hall of Fame I didn't even think was that bad. This year's All-Star is probably harder than last year's Hall of Fame. The 3 hardest difficulties to play the CPU ever in 2K history is this year's All-Star, this year's Superstar, and this year's Hall of Fame. They are. The requirements are a bit too punishing. Wish they would have slightly easier challenges because more people play them, and that is a big thing. The challenges themselves are just difficult for someone without a good binder to complete. Very true. They are difficult. Why is it so hard to realize a portion of player base wants offline content are typically not very good at the game? Bingo. They're not able to finish even one. It's a massive fumble. And this is the thing where it's such an obvious thing. Once again, it's put an offering of offline content is too difficult for most of their game population to engage with. I truly worry they will never learn. And they won't ever learn. That is the issue. They won't ever learn. So everyone is being... One thing that I hear more and more is that these aren't as bad as gauntlets in 2K21. Well, you see, these are different to gauntlets in 2K21. The gauntlet challenges were the final Spotlight Sims. They were the final boss Spotlight Sims. So all the Spotlight Sims were in the game. All-Star Spotlight Sims, Triple Threat Spotlight Sims. So even if you couldn't beat the gauntlet challenges, you could still get all your like Galaxy Opals from Triple Threat Spotlight Sims. But the gauntlet Spotlight Sims were meant to be a challenge. They gave you the greatest card in the history of MyTEAM we'd seen at that point, an Invincible Taco Fall. They gave you the greatest card in the history of MyTEAM that we'd seen. That Invincible Taco Fall was maybe Goaty out a year before. Maybe, but I think Invincible Taco might have been better. Those were meant to be excruciating. Those were meant to be painful. Those were meant to be difficult. Anyone who booted up those challenges knew what they were getting themselves into, myself included. As frustrating as it was, everyone knew what they were getting themselves into because they were advertised as the most difficult challenges we've ever had. These are the first Spotlight Sims. If you guys don't know what the first Spotlight Sims are, remember the very first ones in freaking 2K20. If we didn't know about Quick True SDS, they were hell, by the way. And then the All-Star Spotlight Sims were really easy in NBA 2K21. And same with Triple Threat ones up to a point. But the issue is that most players, and I'm genuinely saying, I'm not saying most people watching this video, because all of you guys are like, oh, these players can do it. If you're watching this video, you're probably in, let's be real, you're probably in the top 5 to 10% of players. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance you're probably as good, if not better than all of your friends, if you spend the time to watch stuff about this game. But no, there is not. I can tell you for a fact, the main draw of Spotlight Sims is to bring players into the game. There is nobody who got this game at Christmas and isn't an experienced 2K player that's winning any of these. It's winning any of these. A lot of the offline players. So if you guys see the community hub, the most used center by offline players, Shaq. The most used point guard, Ja. So you think you've never faced a Shaq or a Ja? Because the vast majority of people just kind of use starter cards, play this game for a little bit, and stick with it. And because it's Ja, the people don't even upgrade Ja and Shaq. So this literally is proof the vast majority of people boot up the game, play 3 games, and then don't touch it again. But maybe Spotlight Sims could be something that will keep them in the game. Well, wait, they're not getting any of these cards. They're not getting any of these cards. Because these are more difficult to get. These are they're not Gauntlet Spotlight Sims. They're not Gauntlet. But these are harder than last year's Gauntlet, by the way. Last year, they literally called the Spotlight Sims the ones for, I can't even remember what they were called. The Hero Spotlight Sims. They called them the most difficult challenges. And I'm telling you right now, these are not as hard as 2K21 gauntlets. These are harder than 2K20 gauntlets. 2K22 gauntlets. These are literally harder than a set of challenges last year that they said were going to be the hardest challenge we'd ever seen. These are literally harder than the gauntlets from 2K22. What are they doing? How can they be so close to doing something right? Time after time after time. How can they be so close? And for anyone saying, how do you put a solution? Let me explain the solution that I came up with off the top of my head within 5 minutes after seeing these challenges. You see, maybe. If you don't want to gatekeep the pink diamonds, so you see all these challenges here and you lock in for the guys, do what you did in 2K21, which is the perfect way of doing it. You see every one of these diamonds. Make them time consuming. I don't mind the points, by the way. I don't mind the fact that it's 50 points. I don't mind all the stuff. But some crap you can't get blocked once against 3 Rudy Goberts. I'm why are we getting gauntlets? They're literally gauntlet type challenges. But I understand why you want gauntlet challenges, because you want someone to challenge the player base that want to be challenged. I understand that. But you can't challenge the player base while completely neglecting the guys that just want the cards. Because there's a lot of people that just kind of want the cards. There's a lot of new players. You can't neglect the new players. This is the one problem with 2K, is that in everything there are really easy ways of simultaneously challenging the tough players and giving stuff for the new players. But they don't do either. They do one or the other. There's either one or the other. They screwed up the gauntlets last year by making gauntlet challenges and on top of that 15 hours of mindless grinding for no reason. It's like an either. You should do an either or. You should, for those situations, it should kind of be an either or. But maybe if the gauntlets were kind of on top and not gauntlets to the side. Because again, with the domination, if you got 15 players for each of those domination wins, no one would have cared. With last year's one. But let me explain a better concept. So you see these challenges here. They tap out a pro difficulty. So all of these, you could have your gauntlet requirements all on pro difficulty. All on pro difficulty, including the first one. Put it on pro. Pro. So what that means is that new players have then a pro difficulty with these like requirements. It means the players have to at least focus. They need to engage their minds if you're good at the game, because if you screw up once, you've lost. And new players, this is what would be seen as a challenge, but a doable challenge for new players. And then you see when you get all 4 of these guys, instead of them locking in for a pink diamond option pack, or you get all 5 of these guys, instead of them locking in for a pink diamond option pack, and maybe you don't have clutch time challenges. If this was possible, have a clutch time challenge, which is like on Hall of Fame. Clutch time game, Hall of Fame versus, I don't know, the best player from each of these franchises, which could be all 99s. Win that clutch time game on Hall of Fame, you get your pink diamond. So while a lot of the new players, it's still possible for them to get their pink diamonds, it becomes extremely difficult, but it also challenges the older players. Or you do what you did in NBA 2K21, where you make these challenges kind of easy. Everyone locks in, for example, for their Kyrie, Irving, and their Wiggins. But then there's another set of challenges for Kevin Garnett, which are 12 games, gauntlet type games, like Hall of Fame, get a triple-double or get a double-double in a freaking 21-point game, like mad stuff. Give us that for like 12 games. It was 12 games of that, and you beat all of that, you get Kevin Garnett. Does it add to the time in terms of like games taken? If you are to win every single game, yes. But with the amount of resets that it takes, even a great player is resetting. Even a great player, I think, is probably losing 20 times. Even the best player in the world is probably losing 10, 15, 20 times in this. I'm watching Ty with, like, literally, with running 3 pink diamonds, only winning games 40 to 38, running 3 pink diamonds. Like, how the hell is someone who doesn't have the means to get the best squad possible meant to compete? If the best player in the world, with some of the best players you can use in that specific challenge, is struggling, how the hell is a normal person with a normal squad meant to do this? The answer, they're not. And Mills is on the damn money. He's on the damn money. They will never learn. They will never, ever learn. They will never learn because the engagement in this is probably going to spike up in a little bit in the game. But the issue is that, yes, the engagement is going to be good. Yes, this is a good thing. But at the same time, this is a concept that could have been the initial Spotlight Sim from 2K23. This could have been the thing to kind of rally the community together. First of all, everyone got banned, so that's kind of a different story. But this could have been the thing to have gotten a lot of people saying, "Oh, cool, let me get back into MyTEAM." A lot of people might have said, "Let me come back into MyTEAM." But like, and no one's gonna come back to this game mode, by the way, because of this. Nobody's playing another game. They play 2 or 3 of these games, like, what the hell's happened to this AI? There's different animations. The AI are like, I have a hand in the AI's face and it's an open and I'm wide open. The AI says I'm heavily contested. There's nobody that's coming back to this game because of this. And it's a failed opportunity. Yes, there will be a little bit of traction. Yes, there's going to be a little bit of a spike. That is true. But this should have been a massive spike. This should have been a defining day for NBA 2K23 MyTEAM. And it's not. It's another day. They literally turned Spotlight Sims in terms of hype to just another day because of their inability to plan for both the casual and the freaking hardcore players. And maybe getting new players from other modes into the game. Because this isn't going to do that. What this is going to do is it's going to engage the hardcore players who you've banned half of them already. Let's be real. You've banned half of the people that are going to that would have engaged with this. You've banned them. And this is going to be literally a case. So this is what a new player is going to do. They're going to these challenges, spotlight challenges. They're going to play, let's just say, hypothetical, the Lakers challenge. They're going to play the Lakers challenge. This is what a brand new player is going to do. They're going to win game 1. They're going to win game 2. They're going to win game 3. Or they're going to win game 1, win game 2. They're going to play game 3. Like a new player, 30 points against these 3 guys on pro. Not easy. They might win game 3 the first time. Then suddenly they go from pro, where they can make every shot, to all-star, where the CPU don't miss. Need 5 assists from Magic Johnson, being back-cutted by the CPU while Magic Johnson throws freaking passes at the speed of a freaking light to James Worthy and he dunks it on you every possession. And then if James Worthy misses, Kareem gets it, dunks. Lose. They quit. They get beaten so badly 5, 6, 7 times in a row by this. Because again, as someone who's played 10,000 hours of this game, it took me 5 tries to beat this. A normal player is not going to do this. This is a challenge that a normal player is not going to do. They're not going to think, oh, let me buy VC. They're going to quit the game. And that's the issue, is that, like, it's just, they have a good idea. The spotlight sims are a great idea. I actually really like the fact, I kind of like the fact you have to pick one of the cards. It's interesting. It's a change of heart. It's interesting. I don't mind the cards here. I think a lot of it is good, but the issue always is, why the hell are these offline challenges so difficult? I get them being time consuming, but like, these challenges should either be time consuming or difficult, not both. They should either be time consuming or difficult, not both. And they're both. So close to being good, man. So freak. No, sorry. It's good. So close to being great. So close to being great. Like, there's so many really good concepts in this right here. All they have to do is make all these challenges on pro, and there would be almost zero complaints. Almost zero complaints. People would be a little bit annoyed. People would be a little bit frustrated. You put them all on pro, those calm down. People kind of stick with it, and people will be more engaged. But I can guarantee you that long term, in 1 week from now, this will not have the engagement that 2K wants because of their short-sightedness, as usual.